Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Triumph and Strides. Here I am with my co-host. We don't have a special guest today, but it's fine. It's just the boys today.
Yeah, what's up, Oaks? Your boy AK.
always.
Yo, what's good? What's
So what
good?
we getting into today, bro? You
Yeah.
almost sent me a text this morning. By the way, I woke up. What time was it? What time did you send that message?
Like 6.
At like 6 o'clock, I wake up and I see a message from. I'm like, I'm fucking back. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm fucking
So
back.
I'm conscious.
Yeah, he's conscious and
I'm
he's back.
conscious.
He's on his shit again. So
Yeah.
load it up.
Okay, so this like make it a bit personal. So this is a story like just my past 3 weeks. I was very unconscious. I fell asleep again, and I'll
I think explain what that means, like,
I'm gonna
yeah.
explain what I mean by that. But so the first book that I read, like that started my journey, was Power of the Subconscious Mind, and basically the book just speaks about and explains how the seeds you plant inside your subconscious mind, so the things that you tell yourself over and over again, plant themselves inside your mind and then manifest into your reality. And that's a summary, I guess, of the book. So cool. So I've understood and studied this principle a lot. Like I was really in control of my thoughts, and I was very intentional about what I think and what seeds I'm planting in my mind. I even tweeted that as well. Like because your subconscious mind, essentially, whatever seeds you plant, whether it's negative or positive seeds, are going to bear fruit. So I said, look at it like a fertile plot of land. Whatever you plant, it's going to grow in abundance. So if you're planting negative thoughts, they're gonna manifest in abundance.
Yeah.
If you're planting the good ones. So I became very good at understanding and doing that up until the point where I thought I'd mastered it, or the point where I thought, yeah, I know it all now. So I stopped thinking about it too much, and that leads me into like I think how I ended up falling asleep. So yeah, my past 3 weeks. So I think like to sum it down, the things I've learned, and I wrote them down. One, the importance of learning and understanding yourself and your weaknesses. So I'm going to go into all of these as I tell the story.
Okay, yeah.
But understanding the importance of learning and understanding yourself and your weaknesses. You need to upgrade both the software and the hardware. And you cannot fake belief. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So basically, Wells and I went into 75 hard together, and we'll get into that after this.
For sure.
And essentially, yeah, so mine was in Cape Town, and when I came back from Cape Town, now I changed environments again. And I think one of my biggest things I realized about myself is I change environments a lot, and when I get into those new environments, it's difficult to keep those same habits and standards I set for myself, because every environment comes with different challenges. And I told myself that, okay, no, cool, this time, so I stay in Hatfield. I'm like, this time coming back into Hatfield, and for those of you that don't know Hatfield,
It's devil sport.
like
man. It's
temptation
devil sport.
everywhere in all shapes, sizes, and
no, it's
form.
crazy. It's crazy.
So I came back thinking that no, I'm, fresh into the 75, well, like a decent amount of days into the 75 hard thing, and that I've got it on lock, and things didn't end up going that way, and I found myself, how I mean by unconscious, found myself now going back into this state of sleep where I'm not intentional about everything I'm doing. And so essentially how this all happened, I found myself slowly just letting bad habits in, and I think when these things are happening, you make excuses to allow one habit in and say that it's not affecting everything else, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So I let that happen, but I was still in control of the things that I knew I had to do. But I think that was more so because I had done them for so long that I just knew, okay, cool, I have to do this. There were hygiene standards. But these bad habits creep in and they start to manifest. They invite other bad habits inside until you find yourself
They
back.
become habits, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what they are. Like
Yeah.
like continuous or continuous like compulsive acts of one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically now this is literally the past 3 days. So this is like fresh information. But the past 3 days I was showing Wells, and because of my business, I had to put a lot of money away into that. And my work, which I'm doing to gain some money to put into that, has stopped. So I found myself in a position where I didn't have money, I didn't have food. And so when I say I didn't have food, I don't mean that, oh no, like I couldn't go to buy takeouts. As in, my fridge, my meat went off. Like I had no food, so I had
Yeah, it was actually a crazy out of events, dude.
yeah,
Yo,
no
shit,
eggs, no bread, like the basics. I had nothing. And even just on top of that, like my food, the things I did buy with the little money I had, they ended up going all for breaking. So I literally had nothing. And
I had a crazy couple of days, guys. It was actually, no, from what you told me, it's crazy. But
yeah, and now these bad habits, I'm doing this and like now it's doing more of them. And I don't know why humans do this, but when one thing goes wrong, you just want to, it's like, okay, fuck it. Everything else can just go wrong. So my morning routine doesn't go right. Well, the day is over now. Now I'll just do all the other bad things that I know I shouldn't be doing.
Very
and I found myself doing all the things that I was doing before I was woke, before I was conscious. And that is waking up late, knowing that my alarm is set for 5. I need to be up. So now I'm staying in bed longer. Now I'm taking, my place is becoming messier. You know, I'm not as clean as I want to be. I'm not starting to work the time I should be. I'm missing this lecture and I'm like, okay, whoa, bro, like, what is going on?
It cascades.
Yeah, like
all,
everything
like
just
dominoes. Yeah.
And it was crazy. And shout out to my mom. She's the greatest person.
Shout out Mumsy.
Yeah, she's the one that actually showed me the Power of the Subconscious Mind book. And I think especially when you're going through a rough patch or going through something, you never want to hear that it's your fault, or you never want to hear that this is happening because of you. You want a solution outside of yourself, right?
I get you.
And so I told her all these things. I'm like, Ma, I don't have food. I don't have money. I don't. And she said 2 things. Literally sent me 2 messages. The first was she sent me an audio, Power of the Subconscious Mind. She was like, listen to this. And the second, she was like, remember who you are. And that's all she said to me.
Ooh.
And I listened to this and it all just clicked. It's that I've been looking at all these things going wrong. So, I missed this lecture, or I let this happen, I don't have food, I don't have this. And my whole day from waking up, I knew that I'm going to have to face these challenges. Meaning that even before I started my day, what was I planting in my subconscious mind? The challenges I'm facing, the things that are going to go wrong. And like I said, it ends up manifesting into reality. So one of the other things that happened, like while all this is happening, is I studied so hard for my test. I studied hard, and I wrote it 2 days before it closed. And I thought everything was cool. And post that, I found out that I'd actually written the wrong test, and I'm getting 0 for this one. Like, I can't do a sick test. I'm getting 0. And I was like, but that's so out of my control. What was I meant to do? But after listening to this audio and remembering who I am, I was like, but these things are happening because every day I'm focusing on what's going wrong, what could go wrong. So it showed itself. Something sort of my control, I made it happen. I did that. I was so focused on the negativity that I made that happen. Even though I studied, I did the work that did it, my mind created that. And that's what I mean by, coming into this consciousness. And now,
but now, like, just before you go on, bro, like, I think it's very interesting that you're able to like take accountability for that, because it's like you say, other people won't. Like, it's a part of like one of the human conditions. Is like when everything is going wrong. Yes, many times, 9 times out of 10, that's because of things that are not in your control. But that 10%, that one, like, is most likely happening because of yourself. It's accountability that you have to take in yourself, bro. Crazy.
And I think, to be honest, for me to get to this point where, like, my mom sending me that made me be like, oh shit, it's me that's doing this, make me remember, is because of the work I'd done prior, so it's because I had gone through the steps of understanding myself, meditating, learning myself, going through the steps of showing myself the power that my subconscious mind or my mind actually possesses. So I think after doing all of that work, now it is now easier for me to wake up. Just like you showing me or slapping me saying, hey dude, here's what's going on. It was easier for me to go back and understand that, I've studied this, I've learned this, I've applied this. I forgot it.
Can I pose a question to you?
Yeah, of course.
But like a lot of that, I think, is because of you were able to, like, firstly because you're saying you've read the subconscious mind before, like you're aware of it, like you're conscious of this thing being like existing, right? But now, for other people, maybe even some people that are watching this, some people don't have that thing that they're able to just immediately, or not immediately, you said like for the past couple of days, but you're still conscious of it, that's the thing. But people don't have that thing to be like, wake up, like get back into it. They don't have it. So like, what are your, and we might have actually touched on it maybe in the past couple of episodes, but like, what's your basis or like your foundation that set you up to have that ability, to have that skill to be like, okay, well, you're losing yourself a bit, wake up, get back into it,
Nah, I'm actually happy you asked that, because it touches on one of the points I said, which is the importance of learning and understanding yourself and your weaknesses. And for me, how I learned myself and my weaknesses was through meditation. And I don't think it really matters what form of meditation you're doing, whether it's guided, unguided, kundalini, whatever. But
wow, what's kundalini?
What's that? It gets into the chakras. That's a whole.
Oh, okay. Yo, I never heard that word before in my life.
I got deep in meditation.
Yeah. Okay, kundalini.
But I think.
Did you guys know what kundalini was? Do you know what kundalini is? Okay, alright. Yo.
But I think, learning and understanding yourself and your weaknesses, being able to sit down with yourself, because there's so much external noise that comes from everywhere. Whether it's your parents, it's your friends, it's your Instagram feed, it's your TikTok, it's your show you watch on YouTube. You're getting so many different opinions, thoughts, and I think it's difficult. People may not agree with this, but you don't even know which thoughts are your own. Yeah. Someone may have said something which manifested inside that you think, oh, no, I think this, I believe this.
And like you think of it as an original thought, but it's actually not.
Yeah. So really sitting down and with yourself, no music, no sound, sit down with yourself and your thoughts and let your mind do its thing. Just allow your mind to really unravel itself and understand itself. And with your weaknesses as well, looking at, okay, to answer your question more directly, when things are spiraling, because obviously I know, like I've said in previous episodes, I know the life I want to have, the man I want to be, and I know the steps I need to take in order to be getting there. And when I look at my life, I just look at, okay, cool. Because I think even now with the bad habits, after you do something you know you shouldn't have, you do get that feeling of shame, of guilt, or whatever it may be that says like, I know I probably shouldn't have done that. So look at those moments and say, okay, cool. What led to me doing this? What is my weakness that I keep repeating this thing that I don't like, But I think you can only get that and do it quicker if you take the time to learn and understand yourself. Yeah.
Real. Yeah. Very real stuff, dude. Yeah. But I think, like, just this general thing, like this general experience that you had, I feel like it's very nice for maybe people listening, maybe even people in the room to hear that, because it kind of, and this is actually something that a lot of people text me about when they listen to the first 2 episodes, which if you haven't, go listen to the first 2 episodes of the pod. They have some very, there's some gems.
Check it out, check it out.
But like people were messaging me saying like, it's so nice to hear that other people are going through this, that other people are experiencing similar things to what I'm experiencing. Like if you have a job, if you have a business that you're starting and you feel like, yo, everything is so hard right now, you're not the only person in the world that's going through that. You know what I mean? There's a group of people that are there, that are probably like open to hear you because they're going through the same thing, and that's kind of like the space that we'll kind of curate, right?
100%.
But anyways, to go back to what you're saying, like that's what it is. Like people are most likely down bad or going through like that burnouts of like, oh shit, there's so much shit going on, I don't want to address it, like I'm struggling to get past this point. But to hear that somebody else like yourself, like myself, like Jeff Bezos, like Bill Gates, the spectrum varies, or going through those kind of things is very like reinforcing.
100%, hundreds. And bro, like going back to the story as well, one of the things I said, upgrading your software and your hardware, right? So Oaks, when I say it was bad, like I can even show Wells now, but my screen time was reaching up to 12 hours. Like a day.
Yes.
And
that is hard.
I don't speak to people on my phone. So what was I doing? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't hitting the gym. My screen time was 12 hours. Like, where's my day going? I really, like, when I say I was, it was bad. Like, I really didn't understand.
It was a spiral.
Yeah, 100%.
And
how I got to this point in this realization with the software and hardware. So, the software is the knowledge that you have, the stuff that you do know. So, I've read a lot of books, watched a lot of podcasts. So, I've built up the software. But you can't run these new iPhone software on the first iPhone they ever made. It wouldn't work.
I like that analogy,
And it's the same thing with myself. I had all this knowledge, but I wasn't taking the steps. So I know that, okay, I need to be meditating, doing this. But if I'm not even getting out of bed, how am I going to get this? So I wasn't even doing the first steps to build up my hardware, to get myself to the point where I can now implement the software, the knowledge that I've learned. So it's really a matter of, okay, cool, now, you've gotten this knowledge, you know these things, you understand what you have to do, why you have to do it. But like we said, I think one of the episodes as well, you can't jump from 0 to 100. So getting yourself to the point where now you start upgrading your hardware. So if you're not a person who's getting out of bed, first get out of bed, become a person that does what they're gonna say, and then the software you have, the knowledge you have, can now start implementing into your
It's kind of like, like when you're downloading a game or something and maybe you don't have the best Wi-Fi, and this is an analogy for gamers, like if you know, and you're downloading a game and it will say maybe like 24 hours, and you'll be sitting there and you're like, yo, this sucks, right? This sucks so much. But the process of waiting is the worst part. But but as soon as the update is done, that's the most exciting part, because you get to play that new game. And I think you can kind of apply the same thing, you know. It's like the process of like building your software, like you say, and building your hardware, both at the same time simultaneously, is grueling. It sucks, but like getting up and going to the gym is fucking terrible. Like waking up feeling sore, it sucks. All of it does. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This shit sucks. It does. But you need to understand this for a bigger picture. It's for the end result, because once all of that work pays off and you're enjoying the work, then you're not gonna be complaining. You're not even gonna be like, yo, those. You
won't even be thinking about the time that you waited.
Because you'll be enjoying the fruits of your labor so much, bro. It's crazy. It's insane. I love that, bro. I love that.
And now, before we get into the 75 hard part, right? The last thing, you cannot fake belief.
Oh yeah, and that was so hard. That was so hard. Yeah.
And I think this is the not hardest, but when I say, guys, this morning is the morning where I was like, whoa, I'm conscious again. So all these things I'm saying, I've been going through and realized within the space of the last 3 days, as in like this morning. And you cannot fake belief. So on two parts. One, everyone, maybe people that watch me on the podcast or my friends that know what I'm doing think, oh yeah, I was on top of his shit, I was doing this, I was been. But I've said the past 3 weeks, I have not been on top of anything at all, you know. So one, I can get all of you guys to believe that, yeah, I'm doing this, but I can't lie to myself. It's here in front of me. I can't lie to myself and say that I wake up at 5 when I know that I wake up at 8. I can't lie to myself and say I'm working 4 hours deep focus when I check my phone every 20 minutes, right?
I'm loving what you're saying right now.
And to tie this into those that are religious, to tie this in with religion as well, I can go to church every Sunday. And in my case, actually, I can pray every day. I can meditate every day. But if I don't believe that they're going to work, because I got to the point where I knew it was a part of my morning routine. But I think because I believed, and I got to the point where I got arrogant, I thought, I know it all. I got to the point where, okay, I'm going to meditate and pray because I have to, because I know it's good. But I didn't believe. I stopped believing in that state of consciousness that, didn't believe in what it was going to do. I wasn't meditating because I knew that it was going to make me calmer, make me organize my thoughts better. I wasn't praying because I believed God was going to help me, that I was going to give my stress away to him. And in that not believing, they didn't work. I was trying to fake the belief. You cannot fake the belief because I was just doing it just for just. And after that, it got to the point where since I didn't believe, I wouldn't do it consistently. Oof. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot fake belief. Whether you want to look in yourself in the mirror and lie to yourself, if you do not believe, you're not going to get the results of it because you're doing it for whatever other reason you are doing it for.
Yeah.
And that's just like literally this morning. I wrote all of these down now as I texted you. I'm like, these are all the things I learned. And I think it's crazy because a lot of people, I think as well, think that once you get into this flow state, once you start understanding these things, that it's a straight road of, I'm on top of things now. But I think that's why we call it triumphant strides and the journey to the top, you know, because it really is a journey. And I think the most grateful thing I am for this is that what I'm trying to work on is I understand that I won't always be at my top, at my peak, right? But what I want to do is reduce the time between when I fall off and come back on. So say this time I've been off for 3 weeks. Really looking at, like I said, I'm awoke again now. Okay, cool. Next time, say I fall off, something happens. I need to have put measures or understandings in place that, okay, next time it takes 2 weeks for me to get back. Next time, maybe I go on holiday, I come back, it takes 3 days and then I'm back on. So learning from all the times that you do fall off, and then next time when you fall off again, reducing the time it takes for you to get the ball rolling again. And I think that's a part of the journey that even with myself, I forgot that, bro, what you're going through now is okay. Just get back up and take your lessons from it. And that was my past 3 days, 3 weeks.
Hectic, dude.
Fucking
hectic. Like when you were sharing this with me, you saw my face when I walked in today, and I was like, and you're telling me all of this stuff. I was like, dude, holy shit! Like, life is chopping. You know, life is chopping. Like, life is doing life. It's doing some shit. But I think everything that you just said kind of ties in, like, with a lot of my experiences for 75 Hard, right? So for those of you that don't know, 75 Hard is a mental/fitness challenge that you do for 75 days of the year consecutively back to back, where you are on a strict regimen in terms of diet, in terms of and fitness. So you gym twice a day. You have to read 10 pages minimum of non-fiction, drink 2 liters of water. What else? Oh, no cheat meals. Fuck, no cheat meals. Like, that's probably been the hardest thing about this.
No substances.
No substances, so no vices, no alcohol, no whatever else, no vices whatsoever. And what? Oh, and if you fail any of that stuff, then you have to start again, like completely, like you have to start. And that's kind of what it is, because I've had a lot of people, when they find out, they're like, oh yeah, like let's go for lunch or whatever, and I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I can't really eat this or can't do that. Then then the conversation will flow in that direction of, oh, why? I'm doing 75 hard. Oh, seriously, how long have you been doing? A month. No, there's no way you actually did that. And it's like, well, Fizz, I understand that, like, I get it, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but the reason why I don't take offense to that is because of what you're saying. Is like, the truth, like you know the truth, because I know myself that I haven't done anything like to take me off of that path, but I understand why other people maybe might. Maybe it's a mental block on that person, or it just sounds impossible, but it's that thing of like, that's why I don't get offended by that type of thing, To be honest, I got sick. I got sick last week, and I was bedridden on Friday and Saturday, so I didn't go to gym.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but I'm not starting that shit over again. I'm just gonna add 2 days on at the end. I won't lie. I won't lie. I'm not starting over. There's no way, mate. I have 10 more days left. It would be insane for me to start over again. Hade, whoever created the challenge, I don't care. I'm just adding on the 2 days at the end, blood. So, but yeah, blood, what was your experience with it?
I actually wanted to say, I think it's an interesting conversation, because we can tell both sides of the coin?
Yeah.
Both sides of the coin. Because I think for anyone, this applies to more than 75 hard, but I think it's nice because they'll be able to hear from your side of how you found the experience, but then also from my side, where I had stopped at some point or failed, or failed, as I'd say, or gave up, So I think I wanted to ask, actually, what have you learned from it, because it is, because this thing is difficult, like, especially,
it's stupid.
I think physically, obviously mentally for some people it's more difficult, but for me, mentally, physically, it's just going to gym twice a day is disgusting every day. But yeah, like, what are the biggest lessons you've learned from it, and especially now since you're still on it, coming to the end of it, what you've taken away the most from it?
The main thing for me, and I was even thinking of maybe doing like a video about it, I'm not too sure though, but the main thing that I've taken away from it is that I already built up, like this discipline and like this strength that I believe that I had, but this really showed me that, like, I'm capable. Let's not even say strength, let's not even say invincibility, just the fact that I'm capable, bro. Like, I'm capable of going to the gym and sticking to regimen, being disciplined, and seeing the results of that. I'm capable of, reading a book, even though it's not the most interesting book, but it will still better me in some way. I'm capable of not picking up that donut, even though I really fucking want that donut, but I'm capable of it, you know what I mean? So it showed me the lengths that my capabilities can go to, and I've seen the results of that, like, applying everywhere else in my life, like in terms of the company, in terms of like school, in terms of just like life. Like, I've been so much like stronger, like I don't want to say like I've been shielded, but like I'm faced with adversity, and I'm more capable of facing that adversity than I was before, that's probably like the main takeaway from it, dude.
Okay. Now, I like the word capable, because I think that's actually the downfall on my side. Not that I'm incapable.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Realizing, because I did it for, I think, 30-ish days, 35, 36. And I think it was because I realized that I was capable. I realized that, I can do this for 35 days. I can do it for a month plus. I can do this. But where I think I went wrong is, since I saw that I was capable, I was like, okay, so then I can go back into my normal life. Since I know I'm capable of doing this, I can go back into my normal life and do and integrate that with everything else. So I think I found myself in a situation where I'm like, the challenge seems a bit long, but I've proven to myself that I can do it for X amount of days. But I think the danger with that, and comes back to letting the bad habits back in, is okay, cool, you've proven you're capable of doing it and you want to go back, but why? Why is it do you not want to finish it? Why did I not want to get to the end of it? Why did I not want to prove that, cool, I'm capable of 35 days, but am I capable of 75 days? Am I capable of continuing this on a long-term scale? And I think that is very important, especially with what we're doing, because none of the things we're doing now are to see results now. We're doing all of this building a character for the future, building the men we want to be. So I think asking that question, and I've asked myself a lot, is why could I not do it up until the end? Seeing that I was capable, I was in a very good flow state. Oh yeah, I'm sorry guys, the camera cut. But so like I was saying, it really is a long-term game. It really is a journey. So I think that's why I'm grateful for going through what I've gone through now, because I see that I can fall down and then come back up again, you know. So I think just with everything you're doing, don't beat yourself up when you fall down. Call yourself out, yes. Don't
100%.
lie to yourself. But there's no good that's gonna come out of beating yourself up, because I did go through a phase where I was just, I wouldn't sleep. Like literally 3 a.m. I was there shouting at myself in my brain, like, why are you doing this? Why are you working
There was a
against
time
yourself?
when you texted me at 3 a.m. and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Why is this guy up right now? I get it though, but I was like, jeez.
Yeah, literally just be honest with yourself. If you're doing something wrong, tell yourself you're doing something wrong, make note of it and work on it from there, you know. Don't do what I was doing. I was like, because I wasn't saying anything productive. I was just beating myself up without giving myself any next steps. So I fell back into the same thing I was shouting at myself for, and it kind of turned into that negative cycle of shout at myself, do worse, shout at myself more, do worse, feel shame. And yeah, I really just think, be honest. I think it comes back to, again, be obedient to the truth.
Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Okay, and then I think, speaking on the same note, because one of the things I did go through was having struggles with my finances, right? And that was obviously because my money is going to my business. So like, and I really had to make this purchase. But on a month to month, I don't think, and maybe many students or even people just watching this really are managing their finances well. And like, also, we're not at the point, but I'm not going to be giving any financial advice or tips or like tell you to make. Yeah.
Well, I guess you can kind of give like tips, but not necessarily like advice. You know what I mean?
Not
like,
advice.
Yeah, go spend on this, go spend on that, invest in this. Yeah, but like, give like some insight, bro. But like, how like you be fruitful with your money, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I was gonna ask you.
The question
was,
I'll go for it. Well,
yeah, like what tips do you have?
For me, it's I'm in a very fortunate like position, because I'm still a student and I don't necessarily live in res, so I don't always have to like depend on myself when it comes to things like food, you know, water, electricity. So because of that, and because I'm in that fortunate position, then yeah, like I have a bit of leeway with like the money that I do get. But I'm very like bullish, by the way, it's just a term to say like I'm very like for it, like I'm very like I go all in the thing of investing like in like a 80-20 split, for example. So as much as yes, there's things that you really want to spend money on, like maybe you want to get a new pair of shoes, or you want to, you know, buy like that extra cocktail, or you know, like those kind of things, like just I don't want to say redundant spending because that makes it sound bad, but like just spending that isn't necessary. Like I'm very strict myself about like cutting that kind of stuff out, you know. And then just like being on top of my stuff when it comes to like the investments that I'm very like interested in. So research, listen to podcasts. Don't listen to people who are gonna tell you invest in this, it's the best thing to do, because that's how you lose money. But do your own research, understand how certain things work, and then from there just carry on learning and building on that knowledge. So I save a lot. I save. Yeah, it's tough because of the business as well, but I save where I can. No,
I like that. I think my view on this may be quite extreme, but I think it's because I'm not speaking to just a student or just a person who can't manage their finances. But if you are watching this, it's probably because you want to reach that success, that peak, that up there. So
like you transcended a lot.
And one thing that my dad like spoke to me about, he was like, but you can't be my money goes into my business, and then I have obviously my money that I can spend. But even with that money, I literally invest almost all of it, right? Obviously, I sort out my food, I buy my essentials, but the money that I have to spend. And my dad was like, but you're still young. Why are you not going out to restaurants or doing this. And I was like, you know what, for the thing I'm trying to build, for where I'm trying to be, I don't need that money right now. I have food, I have water, I have electricity, my business is paid for. So this money that I want, and I'm not saying don't have fun, don't buy yourself a drink, don't buy this, but for me personally, it's like, okay, do I need this now? No, I don't. I don't need to go to a restaurant. I don't need to get takeaway. So I use all the money that, if I can, the money that I have to spend, I use that to something that's going to better me, or an investment. So not a direct investment where you buy stocks or whatever, but even in a book.
Okay.
Invest in education.
I like that. Yes.
You know,
yes,
invest
yes. It doesn't
in,
just have to be like financial.
Yeah. If you are trying to be a chef, A1, what are they called? The top.
Michelin.
Yeah, trying to be a Michelin
star
chef. Then go buy courses, go buy programs, go buy. So it's not just in putting your money and letting it grow somewhere, but spending it on things that are working towards what I'm trying to do. You know, yeah, it would be nice to go to a restaurant and do this, and I don't have to deprive myself of it, but it would be a lot better to gain more understanding of what my next step is going to be, how I'm going to get to that next step, you know. So I think I just really look at investing in myself in like any way, shape or form. And this is more talking about the money side of things, but using that money to invest in myself. And it can be getting a gym membership. That's an investment in yourself. Your money is now going to your gym membership. And how I do this and stay disciplined with this is, the second you have enough time to think about it, or you have to actually be in charge of, oh, my money goes to my gym, my money goes here, you're probably not going to make that decision. So make it easier for yourself, automate it. So for example, my gym membership, it goes off every month. I don't have to do it, it goes off.
It's its own thing.
And with my investments in my fund, the money goes off. As soon as it's time to pay, the money goes off. So don't give yourself, like, obviously make sure, do your research to make sure it's the right investment, right decision. And once you go there, automate it. Don't have to think about, oh, now I move money now. Because then once you become responsible as well for every month, I have to put this much in, you can forget. It can become too much work. You can, like, you know, end up spending.
Cut corners now.
Exactly.
Like, oh, well, I can just take a little handle, you know, just for that extra,
Yeah, so automate it. Don't, if you, especially like for me, my dad has said all the time that I do struggle with saving my money. Like, if I have money, I'm thinking, what can I spend? Whenever I get money, I'm like, money means buy. So what am I gonna buy? So the moment I have that time, that's a problem. I'm going to derail from what I actually want my money to do. So I make sure that I don't get a choice. Yeah, my money comes in, but it's gone. Or I know that if I spend it, when it does, it's meant to go off. Now I'm gonna have a bad credit score. Now I'm gonna be in debt. Now I'm gonna put myself in a position where it's not really my choice. It's my choice when I start. Afterwards, the money's going regardless. They're going to take that money. So I think that's just for me how I really manage my finance, or try to manage my finances. Yeah, bro.
I think like two like two things I guess that we can kind of like make as like the staple of that brew is I'm playing is like, firstly, like your mental landscape of like you can kind of take those two things, right, that we've kind of been talking about in the past, and like this investment thing is like, okay, well, if you are in the mental space where you,
sorry, Oaks, we're in Hatfield, so
this is, I don't know if it's coming through, but yeah, there's some stuff going on outside. But if you can take the mental headspace and like the way of thinking that we're saying, and apply that to not only just business and life, but also to your finances, then all of that becomes way easier. Like, if you understand that and the basic meaning of what an investment is, as in putting money in or making a purchase that will better you in the long term, or better you in the future, that you can like have a better return as well, then you're clear. That's what it is.
Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification, exactly that. So like, if you know that you have let's just say you're in a much fortunate position like myself, where I don't necessarily have the craziest expenses, you know, and like your parents will maybe like pay for your rent or like do this, and you have extra disposable income. Like you say, make it an automated thing that, you know, okay, 100 rand doesn't have to be in, I think also people do that, like they make investing seem like it's this high stakes thing, which technically yes it is, but you don't have to save 15,000 rand every month, or like have to be making 100K before you start investing.
There's no investment too small.
Yeah.
There's no investment too small.
Start with 50. Start with 100. Start with, if you're even more fortunate, start with 1,000. Whatever is relevant to you. And do your research, like we say. Understand what it is. Understand how the banking system works. Understand how, what the S&P 500 is. Like all of these small little things, and they'll compound eventually. And then from there, you'll be fine in the future, man.
100. And I think with the whole knowledge thing, I don't know, it's weird because I think it's only with investing where we are willing to trust someone or information from someone else that we're willing to spend our money, give our money to. Now it's gonna grow without doing any research. Anything else, any other thing, if I say, trust me, give me your money, you're gonna say no. You're gonna ask for all the facts, all the details, how does it work. So the same thing with any investment you wanna make sure you have that knowledge, you have the research, because with anything else you wouldn't buy it.
Let's call it out. What do you think it is? Do you think it's desperation? Do you think it's laziness? Or do you think it's both? Or is it more? I don't know. Because those are the first things that I think of.
Yeah, actually, they're perfect.
Because you're there like, oh, well, I really want to be rich. And this person is promising me, selling me a dream. It sounds like they know what they're talking about. Let me go for that. Or laziness, like as in you don't want to take the time and learn for yourself. Like
I think both. Because I think actually more so on the laziness side. Because I can be desperate for money. I want to do this. You tell me about this thing. But I'm not lazy. I'm not too lazy to go and do the research. I can be so hungry, desperate, but I go and make sure I learn all the facts and I do make the right decisions, But I think the combo is where people go wrong, and I think that is what they suffer. Well, myself as well, but what people suffer from, the combo of the two. I don't think it's a bad thing to be desperate for money. Not desperate for money, desperate.
Yeah, you can use it in either way.
Okay, but in this context, to be desperate is not the issue. But if you're desperate and then you don't make an informed decision, you'll end up in a worse position.
Yeah, very true.
So I think the combination of both is the danger, because you can't be so desperate and then just put your money anyway, because you're going to end up in a worse position.
Very fair. Very fair.
And
that's actually so fair.
Yeah, I think it's even like gambling. So, and this is like on Betway and stuff, right? With Betway. So Betway released these new, maybe not new, I just found out now, these in-app games, right, where you can...
Maybe let's not say the name. So we'll
I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to say that. I said it again.
Pay us.
Okay, but so gambling platform introduced these games, in-app games, and it's like a mini virtual casino.
Okay.
And there's a lot of games that you can play. And look...
Oh, because they changed the law now. You can gamble online now. Because it used to be illegal. Oh, yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. You have no idea how, let's say a slot machine. Do you understand the algorithm of a slot machine? No, you don't, right?
No.
Are you desperate? When you go there, you're desperate for the money you could make. Yeah. What do you usually end up coming out with? A loss.
Yeah.
Because you're both desperate and you lack information.
Crazy.
You don't understand these gambles, these things that you do. How does it work that you're going to get money? Do I put money in, I play a game, then I get money? How? Ask the questions, so I really think...
that's so real. What the...
a slot machine. How does a slot machine work?
How does a slot machine work?
I pull down, then what? What is it working on? What is it? Algorithm? Is it stats? Is it, what is it?
Fricadelle, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So the combination of both desperation. The combination of desperation and the lack of knowledge will only result in your downfall.
Failure. And I think that's a beautiful way to apply to both as well. It's not just on that side. It's in life.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
100%.
Yo, I think finance is a very nice topic to talk about, and I think we'll definitely address it at a later stage as well as time goes on. You know what I mean?
We're all in the journey together. We're all a part of this.
There's a lot. For example, we could bring up the things that we could talk about in the future would be how to open a business account. How do you register a business? How do you all of these things are things that basic things that entrepreneurs need to know, but they definitely don't. There's people that are watching this that are probably starting their own businesses, are wondering how do I start a business? How do I register my business? Oh, okay, there's a person that says that they can do it for me for 2,000 rand. No, it's 175 rand to register your business. If somebody comes in, they say that they'll do it for you for 4K, say no.
Yeah,
things like that. and explain those processes. But it's like we say, it's a journey.
100%.
And there'll obviously, of course, be more to come. But yeah,
before
we close it off, go for it.
Just to say, like, all these things, like we're saying, it is a journey. And like the story today that I told, this is all a real time of us going through it. Lessons we've
like
learned.
This was like a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and even just on the finance thing, like the business account, for example, I know that's a later thing, but I made an account without the knowledge, desperation of needing one, ended up with an account that the bank charges were like $300 a month.
Go!
And I didn't know, and I hadn't used it, and it had negative 900, and I was like, whoa, like what is going on, you know? So this is like really us going through it together, like telling you the mistakes we're making, lessons we're learning. And so like it's not some play like I literally
100%. Yeah, I like that. It's a personal experience. I think that's it. Like, I think we always like iterate this, but the concept of this is to like create a space, to create a central place where everybody can come and like, no matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, maybe you've already started, maybe you're past it. Of course, if you're past it and you're experts more than us, then you're seeking something else. But whatever that is, like, it's a place where all of us are going on this journey together, especially for young entrepreneurs. If you are a young entrepreneur right now, I want you guys to know that you guys are doing things that most people aren't. Your desire to start it, everybody has, but the action of actually doing that is absolutely commendable. So to anybody that's doing that and going through that journey, congratulations, well done, and keep fucking going.
Love that.
It's a beautiful way to end it off.
Love that.
Thank you guys for watching. Like,
guys,
subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. But also with the comments, like, I think it creates a much better community when you're able to ask questions. Let us know what you think, what you want us to speak about, questions you have, you know, like, let's genuinely incorporate everyone and
100%.
learn from each other, because that's the best way. You know, if I can help you avoid making a mistake by letting you know where I went wrong, I think it's a very beautiful thing. So with all of us, comment what you want to see more
drop
of.
some comments down below.
And subscribe. Subscribe.
What the heck? Like, you guys are watching the
I'm
videos,
seeing views, I'm seeing likes,
like,
subscribe.
What's going on?
Alright, guys, thank you so much. Check you on next week's episode.
Peace, guys.
And out. Away.
Sorry.
My guy.